What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy Mav. I'm coming to do my first. This is my first non-sports. My first non-sports. My first non-sports video. Because normally I do sports, but I wanted to branch out because I have opinions about more than just sports. So I wanted to pick out a couple stories and just kind of give my thoughts on those. One of the first things I found out was about what was it? Oh yeah, a mother in I think it was, what was it? Tennessee. Named Shanynthia Gardner. She stabbed and killed 4 toddlers. And my question, first of all, let you guys see the video, let you see the actual news story, and then I'll come back and let you guys hear my thoughts on it. So, and my thoughts on our society in general. But first, let me just give you a quick video of that, and then we'll go from there. Peace.
I know he needs me.
Breaking news alert, 4 children killed, including a 4-year-old boy and 3 girls, ages 3, 2, and just 6 months old. Tonight, the very latest. Their mother has been charged with their murder. We know her oldest child, a 7-year-old, survived the attack. Deputies also say that mother, Shanynthia Gardner, called her husband and admitted to killing the children. And tonight, we have team coverage, including an interview with a father still waiting to be reunited with his son who survived. But first, we start with WMC Action News 5's Rose Eckler, who uncovered just what happened inside of that apartment complex at the Greens of Irene. Rose?
Yeah, Felicia, I just read through that affidavit, and I have to warn you, we're learning some pretty gruesome details about what happened inside this apartment complex.
Yeah, I passed it, but I just kind of think of my own kids. What could actually be on your mind to make you do something like that?
Shelby County Sheriff's deputies say at around 12:30 on Friday afternoon, Shanynthia Gardner killed 4 of her children, all under the age of 6. She is now charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated child neglect, and aggravated child abuse. Deputies say Gardner's 7-year-old son left this home and ran to a man in the parking lot, yelling, "My mother stabbed my sister." The witness told deputies Gardner then walked out of the home with a large knife in her hand. That man called police. When deputies arrived, they found 4 children lying motionless in the house, all with severe cuts to their throats. They also found Gardner with cuts to her wrists and neck. Deputies also found a large butcher knife covered in blood in the apartment. According to the affidavit, Gardner called her husband and admitted killing the children. Neighbors tell me just before this all happened, they saw the children playing outside, and now they are heartbroken.
Like how every other kid when they're playing with their friends, just playing around, and then next thing you know, I look on the news and their own mother stabbed her own kids, that breaks my heart.
So now they say they're hugging their children a little tighter. Now there will be a vigil held here tonight at 6 o'clock, and we'll have the very latest on this investigation and that vigil right here at 10 o'clock. For now, reporting live, Rose Eckler, WMC Action News 5.
And although 4 children are dead in this tragedy, deputies have confirmed 1 boy managed to get away. For the first time, the father of that 7-year-old survivor is speaking out. WMC Action News 5's Tiffany Neely joins us live with the father's plea you'll only see on 5.
Felicia, we're here in front of the training academy where deputies gave us the very latest on this heartbreaking case of a mother stabbing her 4 children. Now we have the charges for that mother, and the father spoke exclusively here with us and gave us exclusive pictures to the 7-year-old that was able to get out alive.
I just need him right now. I know he needs me.
A father trying to find his son after the boy's mother is arrested and charged with killing his 4 siblings.
So he should be with me, whatever. I don't know what he's seen.
Detrell Clayton says his 7-year-old son is the survivor of the gruesome scene here, where deputies say his mother, Shanynthia Gardner, killed his brother and 3 sisters, a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old. Deputies have now charged her with 4 counts of first-degree murder with aggravated child neglect, first-degree murder with aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, and aggravated child abuse.
It's a blended family, that the young man has another father.
Sheriff Bill Oldham says the 4 children stabbed to death were fathered by Gardner's husband, and it's unclear if that detail spared the 7-year-old.
And with the 7-year-old, is it that he escaped or that she let him go?
Well, that will be part of the information we develop as we move along.
But right now, Clayton just wants his son, who deputies say is under their protection.
He's not safe in my eyes because he's not with me. I don't even have words. I just need to hold him. I need my son.
And we will bring you the very latest of their reunion between father and son. For now, reporting live, Tiffany Neely, WMC Action News 5.
And as Tiffany mentioned, Sheriff Bill Oldham held a press conference today giving the very latest details on their investigation, including the big questions still facing deputies. Just 24 hours into this chilling investigation of the stabbing deaths of 4 children, Sheriff Bill Oldham discovered a connection between the family and law enforcement.
We also learned shortly after I left the scene yesterday that this strikes us as a family of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Our Assistant Director of Training, LaWanda Talley, is the aunt of the 4 children who were killed yesterday.
Investigators are still trying to determine how this mother, seen smiling and caring for her children, could now turn against them.
Every investigation, we always try to answer that very difficult question, why? And in some instances, you're just not going to be able to determine exactly why.
And although charges have been filed, still more questions into this tragedy are left unanswered.
Where's Miss Gardner?
And she's in a safe place in our custody.
Is she cooperating with the investigation?
I can't go into that.
Well, this case is now putting new spotlight on mental health. We know that mom, Shanynthia Gardner, just gave birth 6 months ago. We spoke to a leading doctor in postpartum health, Dr. Diane Lynn Barnes, who says this case could be related to psychosis and not postpartum.
A woman who is in the throes of a psychotic episode might be hearing voices. Sometimes those voices are directing her. The voices are generally critical. They're demeaning. Sometimes the woman may have very false beliefs about what is going on around her and in her environment.
She went on to say in a psychotic episode, a mother could have done this without being mentally aware. Again, we do not know if this mother suffered from any mental health issues.
Okay, and we're back. So, this story, to me, is becoming more of an epidemic in our society. And it drives me crazy because women in our society are not being held accountable for certain things. Because the funny thing is that we as Americans, I think have this mindset of what women used to be. And because we have this mindset of what women used to be, and a large majority, I mean a good number of them still are, but we get to this point where we start to see women like we saw our mothers, or maybe if you have a good wife or a good kid, good daughter now, you might see them in the eyes of that what a woman should be, which is caring, loving, can be hard sometimes, but for the most part, she's doing what she thinks is best for you. She loves you and she cares about you. So I think a lot of times those are the good traits of women. When you have a good woman, the problem is that a lot of women are like men 2.0, and this is what I mean when I say men 2.0. They're like women. I mean, they're like men, yet they're more emotional than men. They're more irrational, and they're crazy. So it's like this hybrid human gender now. It's like a woman. That's pretty much what they are. You know, they're like woman man, I guess would be the best way to put it. They don't have the same things that we had, the same things that made us, that made our mothers and grandmothers great. They don't have those traits. You don't, just because you can no longer look at a woman and say that's a woman, so therefore she must be a good person. You can't do that anymore. You used to be able to do that because for the most part, a lot of women were women. Now I would say probably 60% of them are actual women, and the other 40% are spoiled children who think that, because basically, let me just point this out. When you're brought up in a society that from the moment you can walk, they teach you that your whole end goal in life is finding someone who will not growing up. And I think all the women who are brought up by parents who teach them, hey, it's your job to find happiness. You know, you go out, you do whatever you need to do, but it's your job to find happiness. This is nobody else's job. And I think those are the ones that end up being productive members and productive women in our society. Problem is, those are far and few. Majority of them are not like that at all. The majority of them are spoiled children. They grow up being taught that it's someone else's job to make them happy. So therefore, whoever gets that job and rolls into that job, they're screwed. They're DOA, because there's nowhere in the world you can make anyone happy. I mean, it's a process. You learn to it's a process of ups and downs. Some days you're gonna be happy, some days you're not. But when you think it's someone else's job that you're never unhappy, then that person is screwed, because that's impossible to do. All they can do is make sure you're happy sometimes, because they can sometimes do something that makes you happy. But someone who thinks that they have to be in a perpetual state of happiness all the time, and that, you know, at least 75% of the time they're supposed to be happy, you're setting yourself up for failure. I would say 90% of the time you're not going to be happy, and then you have 10% where you feel happy from time to time. But women aren't taught that in society. They're taught, find someone who's going to make you happy. That's the most important thing that I hear a lot of people say. Find someone who's going to make you happy. Not find someone who is a good person. Not find someone who will not find someone who is a good who is someone who's able to come to you and add to what you already have. They're not taught to find that. They're taught to find someone because most of them grow up with their moms who sit down and watch these stupid movies like freaking what was that movie with Julia Roberts, Gentleman or whatever, Pretty Lady or whatever, Pretty Woman or whatever her name was, whatever it was. Stuff like that. Stuff like the one where the guy comes into the steel mill worker and pick the girl up and walks out. Go look at all those movies. They have one thing in common. The woman does jack crap. She doesn't do anything. She is just there. The guy's taken by her beauty, and then he decides, because he's so taken by her beauty, not just she earned or did anything. He's just taken by her beauty, so he walks around, and so he basically treats her undeserving of the love that he gives. She does nothing to reciprocate it. He's there, she's there. And majority of the time, the man is well off. He's not a bum. He's generally someone who has a lot of money. Generally someone in a position to help the woman, or he's extremely good looking. So you teach these little girls as they grow up that's the most important thing. That is what makes good and bad, and it's not. It really is not. It's actually pretty dumb. Because it sets you up to fail. Because no two people are gonna meet each other and be great for each other. It's a process of building that relationship. You're not just gonna wake up one morning and be like, oh yeah, we love each other. No, you're not gonna walk into a sign and see someone who's beautiful, and no man in America is like that. And I'll walk into a bistro and grab the same book as a girl and look her dead in the face and fall in love with her. That's not gonna happen, because men are programmed the exact opposite way. They grow up, and from the time they're able to listen to an older kid's message, which is, if you're not having sex, then you're lame. So the kid grows up and he learns that the purpose of women is to have sex with them. So you have two totally different narratives as they go into these relationships. Men are looking to do whatever they have to do to have sex, and women think that they're going to basically be taken care of because they're pretty, or because they're nice, or because they have a lot in common with the guy. No, that relationships are built. Think about every friend that you have. How many of them are good friends that you just met and overnight y'all became good friends? None of them. Relationships are built. It doesn't change just because you're in a relationship with someone that you're having sex with or that you're married to. That doesn't change. Relationships are built. No one walks into a relationship and, oh yeah. I mean, think about how long friendships will last if you had to be automatic friends with the person the day you met them. A lot of people know that you have a bunch of friends that you grew up hating, that you started. I mean, not grow up, but you started out hating. That you conflicted, and then after a while, you start realizing the reason why you conflicted because you have a lot in common. So it's ridiculous that they walk around with this narrative where people walk around and they say, oh, why did you get divorced? Well, I got divorced because we just didn't get along. Well, that's your fault. Well, sometimes two people just don't click. No, that's not true. Just like if you have a friend that you grew up, you obviously found some endearing qualities in the person that you chose to marry. I mean, unless you're like one of those sluts who just marry dudes because they have a lot of money, or dudes who just marry women because they're good looking. For the most part, if you're both around the same level, then you found something endearing about the person. Problem is that you didn't want to. You got thrust into a situation where you were forced to deal with their negatives, and you didn't want to deal with their negatives, and you didn't try to find a way to deal with their negatives. You just wanted them gone because because we are, like, once again, we're brought up in a society where people are selfish. It's like, I don't want to change who I am, and this person is refusing to change who they are, so we just don't get along. And thinking like that, you're always going to be in that same predicament. You're going to be in that same situation when you're 40 years old, showing up at the club, and you realize when you start out, you're number one, you're top five. When you hit around 21, 22, women are at their peak. Most women, they can stretch it out, until they get about 30, in their late 30s, some even early 40s. They can stretch it. They can stretch their looks out for a long, long time. But after a while, you ain't hitting that. You're no longer a first round pick. It's like okay, let's put it in sports terms. You look at someone like LeBron James, right? LeBron James came in when he was 17, when he came into the NBA when he was 17. He is now 31. Athletically, he is not what he was when he was 17. Physically, he's just not. He's smarter now, so the athletic ability he has, he maximizes. But if he had the same brain that he has now, the same athletic ability he has when he was 19 or 20 or 21 or 22, then it would be a totally different situation. But it's not, because, like I said, he's 32 now, and he's 31 now. Same thing with women. When you're 17, 18, your skin is perfect. Your body is usually not dealing with the same things that you're going to be dealing with later in life. You're walking around with zero body fat, metabolism, just burning everything up. Then by the time, and those are for the good, the ones that just look ageless, But what ends up happening is these girls get around 30. I mean, they think that they can still hit the market that they got when they were 25 or 26. Now they're 35 and 36, and they still have the standards that they had when they were 25 and 26. It's like, no, you can't have those standards anymore, because you don't bring that to the table anymore. You don't have, you're 35, 36. Majority of guys who are 35 or 36, let's be honest, they're not good looking. Majority of 35, 36-year-old guys are guys who are long since left high school, long since stopped playing sports, and the majority of men don't work out recreationally. They just don't. Majority of men go to work, come home, and play video games. I would say that's the large majority of them. If they're not playing video games, they're smoking weed, or they're doing a whole bunch of stuff that is not the most productive for their physique. So a lot of them age terribly. Go look at a lot of the men you saw in high school, then go look at them when they're 30. They don't look the same. A lot of them look a lot worse. Most of them are overweight, because that's how men age. So now that's your demographic. Those are the ones who are willing to probably marry you. A 25, 26-year-old guy is not about to marry a 35, 36-year-old woman. A 28-year-old man, a 30-year-old man is not about to marry a 35, 36-year-old woman. So what ends up happening is they still have these freaking heights that they want to stretch and reach. But they don't have the bait to snatch that type of person no more. So what they end up doing? They end up sleeping with guys who are already married, trying to take them for women who have husbands, because that's generally what they do. Because they think, okay, well, I can't get a guy younger to marry me, and a guy my age I don't want to marry, so I'll try to take some of the women someone else's man who has already done that. Good morning, baby girl.
Anything with my beach toy.
You want your beach toy? Go tell mommy so she can give it to you. Okay. Yeah. So for the most part, you got a bunch of women who just don't, who end up trying to take someone else's man because they waited too late, or they end up trying to sleep with some young guy and get pregnant so that they can trap the young guy. Neither way works. But I'm so off topic right now. But anyways, the point is this lady who ended up killing her 4 kids did it specifically to get her husband back. She literally did it specifically to get her husband back. Slit 4 children's throat to get her husband back, because they said he was going to divorce her or something. I don't know, but they say now this lady. Now one of those kids didn't die, so that means at the time that she supposedly called this husband to let him know that she killed the children. At this time, one of the kids weren't dead. Think about the evil in that. One of them wasn't dead yet. He was still suffering on the floor. At the time, she's calling the guy, her baby daddy or her husband. I don't think they were married. I'm trying to figure out how that makes sense. How evil you have to be sitting there watching your kids suffer, because one of them didn't die. So that means he was on the ground suffering while she was calling this man to rub it in his face. And this is what I mean when I say you have got to stop seeing all, just like men defend all men and a lot of black people defend all black people because they think, sometimes you jump behind a bad horse and you can't defend that. I mean, and don't sit up and say you don't know. And this is the whole situation I ran in with the Michelle Bland or whatever her name was story. A lot of women had sympathy for him after they heard her story that she was molested, and that the kid supposedly molested the other children. And you have women jump into her defense saying, "Well, she was a tortured soul, so you can't really blame her." It's like, no, I can blame her, because if you were a tortured soul, you understand that. And just because someone lied on other kids, that doesn't mean you get to irrationally, brutally torture your children for months. If you want to kick them out of the house, you want to send them and put them in adoption and give over your parental rights, okay. But torturing them for 8 months, I mean, like I said, you can't justify certain things, and you get behind a bad horse. And this lady is the same thing. Unfortunately, you see the most vocal part of the feminist movement are people who believe that that women shouldn't have children. They believe that woman's job is to be a man. They believe that if a man does that, a woman is trapped if she chooses to be a mother. No, they're not. There are a lot of women who I mean, your job. Let's be real. Your job is meaningless. If you're a man or a woman who goes out and works for another person from 8 to 12 hours a day, and think that somehow you're changing the world, you're not, because your power has to be given to you. But when you're going out and you're shaping a child, I think that's a very important role, because you shape the world in a different way, because you're creating a future. You're creating a chess piece that could alter the future of the world. Every person that walked this earth had a parent that reared them that way. Every impactful person on this planet had a parent that reared them that way. So, as a parent, you have more power than you ever will working in some capacities. And so this mindset that somehow because you're a mother, you're somehow trapped or put in a position to fail, to me is not fair. It's not a fair assessment, and I think it's ridiculous. This lady is crazy. She's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And evil. And she represents a bad majority of people who constantly push this narrative that women are more important than children. This lady, it was another lady over in New York. Her husband divorced her, so she drowned 3 of her kids and then turned around and blamed him because she said he was divorcing her to marry someone else. So she killed the children. They gave her a year in jail. A year in jail for killing 3 kids. So you start to say, okay, so society, and let's be real, it's like that because the majority of the people who are actually in the jury are women. You go look at the statistics of it. Women generally out. If you go look at every single, if you go look at statistics of the jury pool, it's been proven that a lot of defense attorneys, when they have female clients, like to fill the jury with women. When they know it's a situation, well, in general, majority of them, if you go look at, like I said, go look up the statistics. I think women outweigh men something like 4-1 when it comes to jury pools, because women are easy to sway. They're emotional. If you can get them emotionally invested in what you're saying, they're more likely to discount logic, where men in a lot of instances won't. Men are very unemotional to a point that sometimes it can be a detriment. They just, if it doesn't involve them and it doesn't have anything to do with them, they usually aren't emotionally invested in it. They can logically look at things. Women, on the other hand, if you bring up anything that, and it's a lot of things, because a lot of women who are women are women, and a lot of them who are women are mothers, and a lot of them are sisters, and a lot of them, so it's easy to get them emotionally involved in things because all you have to do is find some kinship with them. If they have a brother who was taken to jail for something that he didn't do, or who was beaten up by someone that was bad, you can emotionally get them invested in what you're talking about, and they're more likely to change what they believe based on the fact that they're emotional and that they really don't logically think through it. So it's easier to get them on juries because they're easier to sway with an argument. So you look at these situations. I guarantee you, this lady won't get a lot of time for this, and and I think that's a perpetual state of our society. Is that that women have realized that it's more that they can basically bully themselves into being more of a protected entry. More of a protected entity than children are, and I think that's wrong. And I think anybody who co-signs it, who says that that's okay, I think that's wrong. You shouldn't be able to do that because it's just not right. But anyways, that was my point. That was my point of the argument, basically. Doing that. So, like I said, this is my first video for my Tommy Maverick. I haven't. I guess Tommy Maverick news, I guess, would be the best thing for it. So TMN, I guess, would be the best one. So check out my news channel. I have a sports channel, under the same, name, Tommy Maverick, Monster Sports Talk, where I talk about a lot of different things. So check that out and let me know what you think. Peace.